Welcome back to the counter-revolution, everyone. Yesterday, Barack Obama came out and said that he's going to start regulating the big banks in the United States of America, that they can no longer have hedge funds and invest their own money where they want to invest it, and all of these new regulations. And it's a class warfare tactic. It's been going on for quite some time. First of all, I'd like to just explain what I think should have happened at the beginning of this economic crisis when the banks failed. I think that the banks should have been broken up. I think that the banks are too big to fail. Anything that's too big, so big that if it fails, it collapses the economy of the world. I believe that that's too big to fail, and I think that these banks should be broken up. The problem is they were not broken up. That we sunk trillions of dollars into these banks. Everybody thinks it's like $700 billion in the TARP, but there was trillions of dollars that went out the back door of the Fed to these banks that they haven't told the American people about. Okay, so we sunk trillions of dollars into these banks when we should have just broken them up in the beginning. But that's not the plan. Okay, that's not the plan. You've got to understand the plan to know why they didn't break them up. And the plan is a Cloward-Piven strategy to create crisis, to hasten the fall of capitalism. And the way you do that in a communist Marxist tactic is you create class warfare. And how do you create class warfare? You collapse the economy, and then you set the stage so that the bankers make money while the people lose money. They lose their jobs, they lose their homes, they lose their insurance, but yet the bankers, you set a climate so that the bankers can make money. Wall Street's making money. That's class warfare. The people are losing, the stock market is gaining. Do you understand that? And this is all designed. It's all designed so that you'll go along with this transformation of the United States of America. Because capitalism no longer works for you. It's a Cloward-Piven strategy to hasten the fall of capitalism. Okay? Why didn't they just break up the banks in the beginning? I'm going to tell you why. This was all created by the progressive movement through the Community Reinvestment Act, which gives loans to low-income and minority people. The banks did not want to do this because they knew that people who are poor can't pay their mortgage, will end up in foreclosure, and they didn't want to lose money. Because I don't know if you know this, but banks are, in business to make money, and that's what capitalism is all about, for people to make money. So what they did is the progressive movement brought Larry Summers and Timothy Geithner in, and they dismantled the Glass-Steagall Act, which was put in place to prevent the banks from doing the things that they did. Do you understand? So the bankers jumped right on board and said, yeah, look at all the money we're going to be able to make. Because that's all it is for banks, is a short-term gain. They didn't care. They don't care if it's going to collapse the economy. They don't care. It's not their job to protect the country, to protect the economy. It's the government's job. That's why we give them regulation powers. We give them powers to regulate. The regulations were in place. They were told to stand down. The regulators were told to stand down. The same thing in the Bernie Madoff thing. They were told to stand down. All this stuff was obvious. But they didn't catch it. Why didn't they catch it? Because this is a Cloward-Piven strategy to create crisis, an economic crisis, to destroy the economy of the United States of America. That's all it was. So that Barack Obama and his progressive movement could create a class warfare to fundamentally transform the United States of America. When the banks fell, what should have happened was, when the economy collapsed, what should have happened is the American people should have got bailed out. The banks should have gotten broken up. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. What happened is we sunk trillions of dollars into the banks. And that's part of destroying the economy. Where did we get that trillions of dollars? We printed it. We printed that money, which put our country deeper in debt. How do you collapse the economy? How do you collapse the economy of the United States of America? You put the country so deep in debt it can't dig its way out. And what happens then? What's going to happen in the next crisis? Barack Obama's going to go to the world and ask them for a bailout, and then guess what? We've lost our sovereignty. But now Barack Obama wants to break up the banks. Now he does, after we've sunk trillions of dollars into these banks. Do you see? It's a class warfare tactic to get people to go along with the fundamental transformation of the United States of America. The fundamental. Do you know what fundamental is? The foundation of the United States of America. What's the foundation of the United States of America? The Constitution. What is transformation? That means change the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It's for control. It's to hasten the fall of capitalism, to usher in their socialistic communist utopia where they're in control. And that's all it is. God bless America.